April the 20th of 2005, I was teaching a cable splicing class to some new hires in Missouri. And one of my students came up to me and told me that he was a private pilot and he had his own pilot's license, and he was really excited that his dad gave him his own airplane. And he brought his plane out, we looked at it, and he suggested that we go for a little flight. I was always skeptical of small planes, and I was a little shaky about it, but I agreed. And we started taxiing off, and the plane took off. And he looked to the west and saw very ominous clouds coming our way. So he told me that we need to turn around and go back immediately before the storm hits. I don't really remember much after that. I was told that by the NTSB investigator that we were hit with a 68-mile-an-hour crosswind that took our plane sideways and then hit the ground and cartwheeled 4 times. And it sent me to a hospital. He died at the scene, and I was saved by a group of people. They sent me to the local hospital in Festus, Missouri, and then they airlifted me to St. Louis to a trauma center there. I was in ICU there for 10 days. I had, I think, 8 or 9 operations while I was there. Then my wife wanted to transfer me down to Austin. And so once I got to Austin, I had several more operations. I don't remember a whole lot of the operations. I was heavily sedated. As the operations, where there was no more operations needed for now, I started going into a state of depression because the old adage, why did he die and I didn't? Because he was married, had 2 kids. His name was Rodney Forbes. That hurt quite a bit. And then I heard a Newsboys song when I was in the hospital that changed my life. And I just felt a warmth come over my body. And I felt somebody tell me that Rodney was okay. The doctor told my wife that I would never walk again. She put her hand on my ankle and started praying. So as you can see, I'm walking, so that worked. The NTSB inspector, when I talked to him 2 months after the crash, and I told him I didn't remember a whole lot. He says, just tell me what you do remember. And after the interview was over, since I didn't remember the crash, I asked him, so how bad was it? And he told me, he says, Mr. Varnell, he says, I've been doing this for 18 years. And he says, I've only seen 2 survivors, you and another, that survived a Category 5 crash. And I didn't know they categorized them, but that Category 5 means total destruction of the aircraft. And I'm grateful that I'm still here and I have a second chance to start getting things right, because I wasn't getting things right. And there was just too many factors involved saying that there was something more powerful than I know of involved. And nobody in this world can tell me that God is dead or Jesus doesn't exist. If anyone has ever thought about looking to God for answers, if you're missing something in your life, or you're hurting, or you're troubles, or you have an illness, turn to God, because He's there. I'm living proof that He's there. I know that I've always been one of God's children. I know that my grandmother always protected me in her prayers, and I know that I always believed, but I know that I didn't believe like I should. I know that God doesn't do anything intentional. And I'm not saying that God caused this accident, because I know He didn't. But I know He saved me.